Hey, in this video, we're going to talk about sprinting, why I think you should do it, why I think it's beneficial for just about everybody. But before we get into it, I have to ask you to hit that like button and subscribe button. It will help me out tremendously. So please do that, and I appreciate it. So I'm quickly going to rattle off some benefits of sprinting. First things first, speed development. Secondly, may aid in potentiating other athletic activities. May aid in development of strength. High potential of reducing the risk of hamstring strains. High correlation to horizontal and vertical jumping ability or power output. Adaptations within the endocrine system. So obviously sprinting is going to help with speed development. There's really not much reason for me to get too much into it. The principle of specificity is going to kick in, and if you perform sprinting at a high frequency, once a week, twice a week, there's probably nothing better to do than sprinting when it comes to getting faster. There's been quite a bit of research out there examining the effects of sprinting on maximal strength, but I'll give you one example here. A study done in 2007 examined 3 different groups: a sprint training group, a plyometric group, and a control group. The study had 93 participants, so it has quite a bit of power. The sprint training group performed sprints of 10 meters to 50 meters at varying intensities depending on the session. The plyometric group performed different variations of depth jumps. The interventions were 3 days per week for 10 weeks, and the data showed that the sprint group had a statistically significant improvement in strength of 10% in the isometric squat, greater than the plyometric group. The sprint group also had significant improvements in depth jumps, squat jumps, counter movement jumps, and broad jumps, concluding that sprint training is effective in improving muscle function related to strength and power. To build on that, sprint training is an effective way to build hamstring thickness and specific strengths such as eccentric strength in the hamstrings. A study done in 2019 showed that several weeks of sprint training improved eccentric hamstring strength measured by a NOR board to improve by 6.2%, statistically significant. This improvement in eccentric hamstring strength is very likely to reduce the risk of hamstring strains. There's also a plethora of data to suggest that sprinting performance has a large carryover to vertical and horizontal jumping performance. Now, you may be someone that doesn't really care about the athletic benefits of sprinting and sees no point in sprinting 10 meters, 20 meters as a training session. That's fine. There's other ways that we can sprint that gives you other physiological benefits. These benefits occur in the endocrine system. The release of growth hormone could increase tenfold after a hard bout of sprinting efforts of 30 seconds for 4 to 6 reps. Now, these sprints could be shuttle runs, could be done on a treadmill, on a bike. It doesn't really matter as long as it's 30 seconds of maximum effort. Exercise-induced growth hormone could have important physiological effects such as protein synthesis and a sparing of protein degradation, leading to maintained or increase in muscle mass. So if you're someone that prefers a bike or a treadmill, an effective way to do this is to perform 4 to 6 reps of 30-second all-out sprints with 4 minutes between reps. And if you are an athlete participating in a sport, it's probably a good idea to incorporate high-frequency sprinting once a week, twice a week, year-round, maybe taking a week off here and there. But there's a ton of different ways to incorporate sprinting. If you're by yourself, you can do straight-ahead sprints, curved sprints, shuttle sprints. If you have a partner, you could do cat-mouse chase, you could do races. You can incorporate a ton of different ways to do this. And in my opinion, it's always fun to find someone you can compete with. You could sprint on a visual stimulus, an auditory stimulus, or a touch stimulus, because that relates to sports. You could sprint 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, curve sprints. It doesn't really matter. The sky's the limit. Be creative and have fun with it. I hope that information is helpful. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Baby!